There's a fairly well-known idea that on Purim, the Talmud tells us you should try to get so drunk, if you're able to, that you don't know the difference between blessing Haman, the bad guy, and cursing Mordechai, the good guy. Now, if we think about it, it's actually a rather bizarre statement to be told. I mean, isn't the whole point that we're celebrating the good guy? We're celebrating the triumph of good over evil. Why should we be wanting to confuse both of them? Now, some philosophers and rabbis come along and they tell us the idea is that we're really emphasizing the fact that everything is one. Everything comes from God, from one source, and no matter whether you try and pursue good or you pursue evil, in the end, goodness and godliness will be revealed. And of course, that's what happens in the story of Purim. Haman, the bad guy, tries to create a plot to kill the Jews and hang Mordechai, and he ends up being hung on the very gallows that he created to hang Mordechai on. And of course, his plot to kill the Jews is foiled. And so the idea is that evil in the end will destroy itself. I mean, we think about a modern day tyrant like Adolf Hitler. How did he die? He kills himself, and I think that's quite a poignant thing that he did so. Evil will destroy itself in the end. But that still doesn't address the issue of, okay, very well, everything comes from one source, it's all one, but we still make distinctions, don't we, between good and evil? And why should we be wanting to bless Haman or curse Mordechai? Why should we not want to know the difference between the two? So in order to try and address this question, I want to share with you some ideas that I've learned from Rabbi Manis Friedman. And this question can be best answered by asking another question, which is, what made God choose Abraham in the first place? Why did God choose the Jewish people with their mission of spreading godliness for the world and having this unique relationship with God? Was it because of their goodness? Was it because of something particularly special that they had done, or a track record that Abraham had? And in order to answer that question, I'd like to ask a further question, which is, what makes you love someone? What makes you choose someone, to love them, to have a relationship with them? If a friend or a partner asks you, why do you love me? What makes me lovable? Rabbi Friedman teaches that it's a very bad mistake to give them a reason why you love them. I love you because you're this, because you're that, because you're intelligent, because you're capable. No, that's very, very bad, because it makes the love conditional, dependent on something about them and not about them. Rabbi Friedman says you should never answer that question. You should just say, I just do. I can't explain it. It's nothing about you, it's you. And that's what real love is. That's a real relationship. It's nothing about the relationship, because those things can come and go. Sometimes people can lose their intelligence. Sometimes people can lose certain characteristics that they have. It's about loving them. And that's what makes the relationship special. I just love you. And that's the most secure relationship, and that's the most vulnerable relationship, because I just need you in my life. I can't explain it. And so the same is true with why God chose the Jewish people. The Jewish people are called the chosen people. But is that because God sort of said, right, well, I've got this people and that people, and I'm now going to decide who am I going to choose, and he makes a choice? Actually, if God, let's say, had a choice and he had to pick, okay, who has the better virtues, who has the better talents, who has the better this or that, then it's actually not a choice, because logic or virtue is dictating the choice you make. So it's not really your choice. The reason why it is a chosen people, what makes it a choice, is that God actually had no choice at all. It just was something that came deep from within him. Something that can't be explained through an outside factor, through something about the person or the nation. It's just, this is my choice. It comes from me. And ironically, what makes it a choice, what makes the Jewish people God's chosen people, is the fact that he had no choice. That's a real choice. And so when the Talmud tells us you should get to a stage where you don't know the difference between blessing Haman and cursing Mordechai, is because it's telling us, why did God choose Mordechai? Was it because he was better than Haman? No. In fact, even if Haman was better than Mordechai, it wouldn't change the fact that God chooses Mordechai. Why? Why? Even if he's a worse person? Why, God? Why? I don't know. I don't know. And that's what the Talmud is telling us. We're getting to a stage, we're meant to get to a stage where you don't know the difference, because that is the ultimate reason for having a relationship with a person, for having a relationship with God, for why God chooses to have a relationship with the Jewish people and with all of humanity. Why? What makes this whole thing worth it? Why are you creating the world? Why are you doing this? The ultimate reason is, we can find all kinds of reasons that might help us understand, but at its core, I can't put it into words. I don't know. And it's amazing that actually the highest level of knowledge of understanding God's purpose and God's feeling towards us is, we can't put it into words. We don't really know. It just is. And so we often try to philosophize, why did God create the world? What motivated him? It came from something far deeper than logic. It came from a desire. It came from something inherent within him. And that is what Purim is trying to take us to take all of us to, understanding that our relationship with God is one that even transcends our actions. It's one that is based entirely on a feeling, an inherent feeling, and that creates a great level of vulnerability and an infinite level of connection, because whether I like it or not, whether logic dictates it or not, we are his and he is ours. Purim Sameach, happy Purim.